So, lads, the Angel Reese situation is not getting better. It is not getting better at all. And if you guys don't know, obviously, Angel Reese was suspended for a half a game in what might have been the biggest joke in all of team sports, that Angel Reese got suspended for half a game. And like, it was at the stage where even other players were saying it's like, just suspend her for a game. At this stage, like, if you're going to suspend her for the full game. Don't suspend her for half a game. And clearly, not only was she just suspended for half of the game, but yeah, she didn't play. As expected, she didn't play. Like, her fans on Twitter were like, "Oh, Angel, just say your back hurts in the warm-up. Just say your back hurts in the warm-up." And all of a sudden, like, she's been back for however long from the back injury.
One of the biggest stars in sports history wasn't taken down by an injury or a rival team. She was taken out from the inside. Angel Reese, the unapologetic queen of college basketball, suddenly vanished from the court, sparking a national mystery that exposed a dark secret brewing within a championship team. This wasn't just a player being benched. It was the beginning of a civil war that threatened to burn an entire dynasty to the ground, revealing a level of betrayal no one saw coming.
Ocho, Angel Reese got suspended for the first half of a game, saying her teammates suck. This guy made a statement saying, the Chicago Sky values the safety, respect, and well-being of every player. We are committed to accountability so our players can stay focused on playing basketball. Because of the statements detrimental to the team made by Angel Reese during the league-mandated media, she will not play in the first half of the game, September 7th, against the Las Vegas Aces. This matter has been handled and resolved internally, and we're moving forward as a team.
The chaos began when Angel Reese was mysteriously absent from a crucial game, leaving fans and the media completely blindsided. When reporters swarmed her legendary coach, Kim Mulkey, looking for answers, they were met with a cryptic and chilling response that only deepened the mystery. Mulkey refused to give any details, simply stating that Reese was a part of the team and would be available when she was ready. This vague, dismissive answer was like throwing gasoline on a fire, turning a simple player absence into a full-blown conspiracy that had everyone asking, what were they trying to hide?
Angel Reese doesn't touch the floor. Doesn't play in the first half. Doesn't play in the second half. Oh, this is interesting. Did Tyler Marsh just say, you know what, Angel, I like the group that we have in right now. We don't need you. We're playing well. I don't know. Does Angel Reese throw a hissy fit in the locker room? Says, no, I'm not playing. Kinda did that. Maybe not that exact, but she went about not playing. Yep. Instead of coming to help her teammates, she would rather stick it to the Chicago Sky organization.
With no official story, the void was immediately filled with whispers from the locker room, and they were far darker than anyone could have imagined. The first rumor to leak was explosive. Angel Reese had been involved in a nasty confrontation with a teammate during practice. Insiders claimed her ego, inflated by her national fame and multi-million-dollar NIL deals, had become toxic. They said she was acting like she was above the team, creating a hostile environment that finally forced the coach's hand. But that was only the beginning of the nightmare.
It's getting hotter here, y'all. This is crazy. This is why this thing took a left turn out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I have not, bro. This is supposed to be a professional league. Angel Reese, you telling me you refuse to go in the game for the Chicago Sky because they suspended you for one half? This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Wait till you get a load of this.
Soon, a far more damaging rumor began to circulate, one designed not just to question her attitude, but to attack her character at its core. Whispers spread that Reese's GPA had fallen so low that she was academically ineligible to play. This narrative painted her as an entitled athlete who cared more about fame and fortune than her education. It was a vicious story that spread like wildfire, a perfectly crafted piece of character assassination, and without any official denial from the university, many started to believe it was the undeniable truth.
So the Chicago Sky situation is not ending, and I don't think it's going to end for a while. Like, this is some Dwight Mayer type stuff, but instead of Dwight Mayer saying it's you or me about the coach, Dwight Mayer said it's you or me about the literal entire team, except for the other player that was in her draft class that clearly doesn't fit playing beside her. It clearly does not fit playing.
As the speculation reached a fever pitch, Angel Reese's own mother, Angel Webb Reese, stepped into the fray with a cryptic and ominous post on social media. She warned her daughter to not mess with a snake in the grass, a clear insinuation that someone close to the program had betrayed her. Was it a teammate jealous of her spotlight? A coach trying to reassert control? Her post suggested that Angel wasn't just being disciplined, she was the victim of a calculated takedown, orchestrated by someone she was supposed to trust.
Angel Reese was suspended for the first half of today's game versus the Las Vegas Aces. She told them, I don't care if y'all suspend me, I ain't playing anyway. My back hurt. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy work, Angel. That's crazy work, Angel. I cannot believe she just pulled the wool over their eyes like this. They thought that they was punishing her, and the whole time she knew, y'all can't punish me. I'ma say my back hurt. I'm not gonna play anyway. This season is over. This is crazy. We already saw her throw her teammates under the bus. Tyler Marsh was blindsided by
The plot thickened when the teammate drama focused on another one of the team's stars, Flau Johnson. The tension between the two was already an open secret, but it exploded into public view when Johnson's mother took to social media. She seemed to confirm the feud, liking posts that criticized Angel Reese and fiercely defending her own daughter. Suddenly, the conflict wasn't just a rumor, it was a public family feud playing out for the world to see, exposing the deep fractures within the championship roster. The Dream Team was officially becoming a nightmare.
She's suspended for a game because she picked up her 8th technical foul. So, and I think that's tonight. That was tonight, right? She was suspended tonight, and now she's suspended the first half against the Aces on the 7th to be Monday, correct?
Dang.
Yeah. Sunday. Yeah. Sunday. My bad. Sunday. Look. Angel expressed her dissatisfaction with the state of the franchise, is what she said. I like to be here for my career, but if things don't pan out, obviously I might have to move in a different direction and do what's best for me. But while I'm here, I'm going to try to stay open-minded about what I have here and maximize that as much.
This wasn't just a simple disagreement between teammates, it was a war for the spotlight. Angel Reese was the Bayou Barbie, the face of the team, and the biggest NIL earner in women's college basketball. Her fame brought immense attention, but it also bred immense jealousy. Insiders suggested that the locker room had split into factions, with some players resenting the way Reese's brand overshadowed the team's collective success. The fight wasn't just about an argument in practice, it was about who truly owned the team's identity.
Half game suspension. And I mean this when I say this. Why a half a game? Like, Courtney Williams responded to it. Like, she did the exact same. She's like, just suspend her for a game. Just suspend her for a game. Don't suspend her for half a game. Half a game makes no sense. Is she going to be on the warm-up bike for the first half in the locker room? Does she, like, come out at halftime? Is she suspended by just being sat on the bench? Like, at this stage, suspend her for half a game. At this stage, just bench her for the season. Bench her for the rest of the season. Like, there's 2 games left.
As more insiders came forward, an even darker story emerged, one that painted a picture of hubris and a fatal miscalculation. They claimed Reese, feeling untouchable because of her fame, had given Coach Mulkey a shocking ultimatum. She believed her star power gave her leverage over the legendary coach, a move that proved to be a catastrophic error in judgment. If true, it wasn't just an attitude problem. It was a direct challenge to the one person who held all the power, and it was a challenge she was destined to lose.
Man, things are getting worse in Chicago, man. Way before it's getting better, I tell you. All right, so the game happened last night, and basically, if y'all remember, Angel Reese was suspended for half of that Aces game last night, right? So she sits out the half of the game, and then coming into the next half, she's ruled out injured with a back injury. Oh, man. Man, it's just tick for tat at this point, man. It is crazy what's going on in Chicago.
To understand why this was such a fatal mistake, you have to understand who Kim Mulkey is. She isn't just a coach, she's a controversial, iron-fisted ruler who has built her entire career on absolute control. She is famous for her uncompromising discipline and her long history of public clashes with anyone who questions her authority. For Mulkey, the team is an institution, and she is its gatekeeper. No player, no matter how famous, has ever been bigger than her program. This wasn't just a coaching decision, it was a declaration of war from a general who never backs down.
What? So what they
suspended her for half a game.
Why they just suspended the whole game at that point? Why do you want to suspend somebody half a game? How you even gonna play after getting suspended half a game? You gonna miss the first half and then you ain't gonna have no flow for the game. Am I tripping? You're just not gonna have no flow for the game. If you miss the first half of the game and then all of a sudden you can get subbed in for the second half of the game, why not just suspend her the whole game?
That's just what the organization decided to do.
Angel Reese didn't just miss one game. She remained benched for 4 consecutive games, an eternity for a player of her status. In the world of college sports, a 4-game absence without an official injury is almost unheard of. It's a statement. It signaled that this wasn't a minor disciplinary issue to be handled behind closed doors. This was an exile, a very public punishment designed to humble a player who had forgotten her place in the hierarchy, proving to everyone that no one was untouchable.
With Angel, she's sitting out the first half due to the suspension. Logistically, how does a player who normally starts the game kind of stay warm and go into the second half?
Starts with your warm-up, and then obviously after your warm-up, it's a pretty long stretch that you're sitting. So whether it's heating pads, whether it's being on the bike and staying active from that standpoint, I think different players operate differently. So we're trusting our medical staff to be able to.
That clip was Tyler Marsh before the game last night, where the Chicago Bravado continued their season-long tradition of getting their ass kicked. This time, the boot to the Bravado's bruised caboose, it belonged to the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces.
This mysterious absence wasn't just an issue for the team. It was a direct threat to Angel Reese's $1 million brand. As the Bayou Barbie, her entire image was built on being a dominant, visible, and unapologetic force. But now she was invisible. Her sponsors, who were paying her millions in NIL deals, were suddenly getting zero exposure. Every game she missed wasn't just a loss for LSU. It was a potential financial catastrophe for her empire, putting everything she had built on ice.
That was head coach Tyler Marsh, who I have a lot of sympathy for, and I'm being dead serious when I say that. Tyler Marsh has one of the most difficult jobs in the country. As the head coach of the Chicago Bravado, he has got to deal with the constant drama of Angel Reese. And it's not just Angel Reese that he has to deal with. This poor dude, he also has to deal with her dozens of aliases. Me Bound Barbie, Bayou Barbie, Can't Afford My Apartment in Chi-Town Barbie, and her most recent personality, Blaming Barbie.
The story became so massive that it transcended sports blogs and hit the mainstream media with the force of a hurricane. Figures like Stephen A. Smith and Shaquille O'Neal began discussing the drama on national television, debating the vicious rumors and criticizing the disturbing lack of transparency from LSU. Their involvement turned the scandal into a national spectacle, legitimizing the whispers and putting immense pressure on the program to either explain the situation or risk permanent damage to its reputation.
Granted, she wore the back brace during the shoot around, right? So it kind of already looked like she was planning not to play in this game. And it kind of brings the question, like, since she sat out the game, like, or was ruled injured, did she serve the suspension? I don't know. It's kind of weird. You can tell it's just some turmoil going on in Chicago right now. And it kind of brings up the question, like, what is going to happen with Angel Reese at this point? I think she's done playing. I think she's done playing this season, honestly. And granted, they asked Tyler Marsh, well, how do you feel about, bringing Angel Reese back for the remainder of this season? He was stating, like, yeah, she's coming back. Well, she wants to get out there. So we're going to, play it with precaution.
The scandal didn't just capture the media's attention, it tore the fan base in two. On one side, you had supporters who believed Coach Mulkey was an old-school tyrant, unfairly punishing a young star for having the confidence the modern era demands. On the other, you had fans who sided with the coach, viewing Reese as an entitled product of the new NIL era, who needed to be taught a lesson in humility. It became a generational battleground, a referendum on whether old-school discipline could coexist with new-school stardom. Finally, after weeks of deafening silence and endless speculation, Angel Reese returned, but it wasn't a triumphant comeback or a happy reunion. She gave a short, heavily managed statement about needing to reset and focus on her mental health. While mental health is a critically serious issue, the timing and phrasing felt like a convenient PR move designed to bury the ugly rumors of infighting, academic trouble, and ultimatums. For many, it felt less like a genuine confession and more like a carefully constructed cover-up. Even after her return to the court, the tension was impossible to ignore. It lingered in the air like a thick fog. The team never fully regained its dominant, joyful chemistry, and the official story never addressed the explosive rumors that had nearly torn them all apart. A dark cloud of unanswered questions hung over the rest of their season, proving that even a national championship couldn't hide the ugly truth of a fractured locker room held together by the thinnest of threads. The so-called resolution felt more like a temporary ceasefire than a genuine peace treaty. The core issues, the alleged jealousy, the clash of egos, the power struggle with the coach, were never actually resolved. They were just swept under the rug. The team was now a ticking time bomb, with everyone watching and waiting for the next inevitable explosion. They had papered over the cracks, but the foundation of their dynasty remained fundamentally broken. This whole ordeal raises a bigger, more pressing question about Angel Reese herself. Was this a one-time clash with a famously tough coach, or does it reveal a pattern of behavior that could follow her into the WNBA? Her Bayou Barbie persona is built on unapologetic confidence, but this incident showed how quickly that can be perceived as arrogance, making her a target for rivals, teammates, and anyone who feels threatened by her meteoric rise to fame. Ultimately, the Great Disappearance exposed the fragile empire of a championship team. It was a brutal power struggle between a modern superstar player and a legendary old-school coach that played out in the shadows, leaving a trail of broken trust and unanswered questions. While Angel Reese eventually returned to the court, the incident left a permanent crack in her legacy, revealing that the biggest threat to her career wasn't an opponent on the court, but the potential for a devastating war within her own walls.